Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy
Hazzed Gaming and his excellent Unholy DK.
and today we're going to be on the Battle for Azeroth Alpha, taking a look at the new Unholy DK talents that they've decided to put in the latest build. Now, some of them are pretty cool, but at the same time, I've got a bit of skepticism, and I don't know. I can't say they quite work out as well as I thought they would, but we'll go ahead and look into them, and I'll show you why.
But it's alright, 'cause right now we're frozen.
So let's start taking a look at some of these talents now. There is a few different builds you could be running with these new talents, and the one you're looking at right now is meant for cleave. So I used to be running the Ebon Fever Epidemic build for the highest amount of AoE cleave that I could get, but right now by far, because of the new ability Pestilence that applies festering wounds to enemies within your death and decay, it does insane burst. We're talking I've hit over 40k DPS on 4 targets on the test dummies. If that was 8 targets or more, we'd be seeing insane numbers right now. The capabilities of this talent alone have blown my mind. Like I haven't seen peak numbers on an Unholy DK like that at all, and I'll go ahead and show you what is going on with the talent as after we're done talking about some of the other stuff. So what we got going on for the level 56 talent is Infected Claws, and the reason for this is bursting wounds generates more runic power, and we are trying to get as much runic power as possible to buff Army of the Damned, which is a new ability, and I'll show later on in the video, trying to proc it up, and it can be on about a 4-minute timer cooldown. I did a complete fight where I got a pop Army of the Dead twice, and it was definitely on about 4 minutes and 15 seconds, fairly close to what they were talking about, so I really wasn't I can't go against it, but it's not nearly as good or as benefiting as I thought it would be. I mean, probably the only time that I would say it's really good is maybe in a Mythic Plus situation, but single target fight doesn't seem to be very effective. I would still stick with Unholy Frenzy, also because Unholy Frenzy guarantees me a solid opener, while Army of the Damned kind of makes your Apocalypse kind of wampus to use, so I don't nearly like that as much. But for single target, Pestilence can kind of be like a wild card. It could proc 3 swords on the target, it could proc 6, or it could proc 1, or it could proc none. You could just be staring at it being like, I guess I did some damage and it was kind of a waste. So that one's kind of single target, kind of up in the air. As for Infected Claws, that was nerfed by 10%. I really don't notice it too much, and especially with the AoE bursting build, I don't even I really don't notice it at all. And of course, for the level 57 talent, while I was testing out Army of the Damned to generate more runic power and put his maximum amount of runic power into it as possible to reduce the cooldown of that in Apocalypse, I went Sun Doom, which that didn't turn out very well. It actually did less DPS than using Pestilent Pulses for single target with that build. And of course, I tried out Bursting Swords versus Ebon Fever. And of course, we got Grip of the Dead, which is the new slow that Unholy DKs have, that is a 90% and decays by 10% for every second. So we'll go ahead and talk about the AoE capabilities of this kind of new build. It's the same, I mean, I guess it's the basic Pulse build, but I mean, with the new Pestilence, it feels like a whole nother beast. Like, it's in a whole new level. I'll quit talking about it and do this, because you're probably like, shut up, Haze, kill something. Alright, so we need to pop our Blood Fear. I gotta make sure I pop things correctly. We gotta smash on our Dark Transformation. We gotta throw on a Holy Frenzy. We gotta dot him. We gotta throw down Death and Decay, and then we gotta go for Apocalypse, and now we're gonna start AoEing. And here comes the damage. Here comes the damage for days. Look at that. We are up 33k, 34k. Our damage just keeps rising, and that's all because of Death and Decay spreading to multiple targets, spreading our bursting to multiple targets, and then of course when we burst our main target, it causes all the other targets to burst, since our Scourge Strike is cleaving. So the more bursting you can get, the more bursty stuff you can get on the target, kind of like using Unholy Frenzy also applies Festering Wound, and your ghoul's applying Festering Wound. It's just, it's a crazy amount of Festering Wound everywhere. Everyone has Festering Wounds. If you do that on a bigger trash pull with the kind of gear that we got running 339 item level on the Unholy DK, like fully, they took away my belt. It's only 310 now. I gotta replace my belt, so I got something to do now. All right, so at least that's good. But yeah, at least with this gear, we are pulling like some insane numbers with this AoE cleave. It's crazy. Try it out if you can. If there's something to be excited about, that is pretty crazy in the AoE category. As for single target, it doesn't affect single target too much. It's roughly the same, I'd have to say. But overall, yeah, so that talent has absolutely just blown my mind in terms of DPS in the AoE category. Pestilence, Army of the Damned is kind of meh. Grip of the Dead is really good overall. So now I'm going to put the single target footage up, and I'll go ahead and speed it up so it's not really 4 minutes of something not really fun to watch. So, yeah, so you can see for yourself that Army of the Damned, at least in the single target category, isn't going to be that great. And I really wouldn't see it being that great in AoE situations, especially over Unholy Frenzy, since it is such a powerful talent.
Turn on the court. Check. Stopwatch. Check. Abilities. Army first. Then Blood Fury. Then Dark Transformation. And then we attack. Wait, we almost forgot to fucking click that. Stopwatch! Okay. Ah! Okay, so I'm gonna hit Shift 4 and I'm gonna click Stopwatch at the same exact time. And then we're gonna proc up this, kill everything to attack. Now go for it, guys. Now we need to get stacks, drop that ability, and there we go. We got a really good opener there. Now we just need to focus and not mess up the rotation. Probably will. I'm gonna drop Death and Decay and reapply my dots, and then we're gonna retreat. No. So much downtime. This is so not enjoyable.
That's going to be it for this Unholy DK review on the new talents. If you haven't figured out a reason to like or subscribe yet,
His channel has tons of good DK, mostly PvP content.
until next time, this was your boy Hazzed.